Well, it would seem that a crazy fan has been arrested in light of some comments made online ahead of the Holy War matchup. What an insane situation this has become.
You are Locked On West Virginia, your daily podcast on the West Virginia Mountaineers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, guys? Welcome back in. My name is Mountaineer Paul. I am your host. This is Locked On West Virginia. We're diving into a pretty serious situation here early on, as an arrest has been made in an online threats, basically from a fan. Pretending to be a BYU fan, although I highly doubt that he's a fan of either team. He's just a crazy nut job making threats online. All alleged, of course, but we're going to dive into that. We're going to try to move on to Keon Hutchins, a big-time stud for West Virginia, coming on a visit. We're going to check that out, look at some tape on him, and looks like West Virginia might have named some captains for the basketball team. I'll explain more about that as well. But before we do, let's dive into this touchy subject. As breaking news, we have Heidi Hatch, KUTV, makes some breaking news here. Arrest made after online threats ahead of BYU-Utah game. Police have arrested Christopher Justice after tracking online threats made from the account Juice is Loose 328 on X on October 14th. The user posted, "I'll be in LaBelle Everett Stadium on Saturday. Any Ute fan I see is dead. Mark my words." When another person told him to log off, he replied, "Nah, anyone wearing red on Saturday is getting shot." Investigators have identified Justice as the person behind the account. He was arrested and is currently on probation following a second DUI conviction within 10 years. The arrest came the same day the presidents of both University of Utah and Brigham Young released a joint video urging fans to keep the Holy War rivalry respectful and private. Police continue to investigate and remind fans that threats of violence, even online, are taken seriously and can lead to felony charges. He was booked on threats of violence and obstruction of justice. And as you can see here, these are the very serious things that he had said. This is not what this game is all about. Whether this guy was, I've been told privately, obviously, this guy doesn't represent either university, in my opinion. I think at the end of the day, this is one of those things that you just have to, you got to appreciate there's going to be fans like that online for most fan bases. Don't have to accept unacceptable behavior. And this is the same in this situation. I've had people dox my family. Nothing this serious, but I've had people dox my family. I've had people come after me privately, release private information about me, different things. And I do believe people that would probably wish harm upon me if they could get away with it. But it's not really about me here. It's about what this guy was threatening to do. And I think at the end of the day, like I said, this is a person that's obviously unhinged. He's dealing with probably alcoholism, being that this is his second DUI. Probably just a very unhappy individual. And a lot of times that stuff spills out. Did he actually mean this stuff? Probably not. But you can't say things like this. You can't do things like this. And I'm glad they found this person. It's unfortunate for the rivalry because it's such a great week of football, and I just wish that we could be focused on that because there have been a ton of things being said, ton of things. To the user underneath, it says this has become a West Virginia plus BYU channel, I guess. If that's how you feel, then that's how you feel. Like I said multiple times already, I do 2+ channels or 2+ videos a day on this channel with West Virginia. So I can do as many as I want, right? So it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. And there's two other topics on this show right now about West Virginia. If you don't like it, move on. It's the only thing I can tell you. At the end of the day, I wanted to address this because I felt like it was serious. It's something that all fan bases have. It's something that all fan bases deal with. Um, and I wish that things like this didn't happen, but they do. Um, I think praying for somebody like this is definitely something that I'm going to do. And hopefully, this person can make some good life choices in the future that help him change because this is sad, man. I hate to see this. And it's not just this. Obviously, there's been a ton of stuff happening as far as that goes. I guess they had to ban a YouTuber over fan conduct fears. Um, Echo Warrior was the name. Um, he said he was going to um, basically make a preemptive move to hide potential violence from their side, which the creator fired back, saying it's just an excuse to dodge accountability amid threats firing around. Anyway, this person has been banned. There was the 2019 brawl, which kind of has resurfaced recently, where some fans were punched in the stands. There's been, um, just a ton of vandalism and assaults and just things like that um, really make you wonder if this is a rivalry or not, man. So it's a rough thing for sure. It's a rough thing. So um, I'm really frustrated with the way that some of the commenting on this has gone over this week. So hopefully people continue to, um, you know, just watch what you say online. I don't think people realize, like, even when you're behind one of these burners, you can be tracked. So, um, you know, one occasion I paid somebody to track somebody down just because they were making life really hard on me. And I just let that person know, like, hey, I know who you are. And it stopped. So these things do happen. These things, do stop. So it's one of those things, man. So I'm glad that this has happened. And hopefully this is the end because we don't need it. We're going to break here. On the other side, Keon Hutchins is a guy it's going to be visiting West Virginia later in the month. Interesting to see what that's going to look like, considering he's such a stud. West Virginia may have named some captains to the basketball team as well. Talk about that too. Next. And this episode of Locked On West Virginia going to be brought to you by Mazda. When it comes to Mazda, it's one of my favorite things around because they make vehicles that do more than just move. As a matter of fact, with more top safety picks than anyone else as of August 2025. And Mazda is one of those things, right? So with the all-wheel drive standard in every crossover SUV, you can drive with confidence through almost any season. And like our players, we sweat every detail because when you make every move count, the impossible becomes irrelevant. Do it today with Mazda, where you can move and be moved. And of course, we can't forget about our friends at Peloton. Look, Peloton is a great place to find these bikes because they're the future of fitness, and they have a brand new Peloton cross training Tread Plus, which is powered by Peloton IQ. It's their most advanced equipment yet, designed to give you real-time guidance and endless ways to move, whether you're running, lifting, or cross training with your favorite instructors. This is training reimagined, and Peloton is built through breakthroughs with tools that help you plan, stay motivated, and reach peak performance. I love how Peloton IQ systems offer real-time strength coaching. It actually tracks your steps, suggests the right weights, and corrects your form, making every rep safer and smarter. So let yourself run, lift, flex, and push forward while you can explore the new Peloton Cross Training Tread Plus today at onepeloton.com. All right, we're back. Locked On West Virginia in segment 2. To answer the question in the comment here about the student section change, very much needed, man. Very much needed. I think this is definitely something that needed to be done. For those of you who don't know, they have done some things with the student section this week that have helped a lot. So, yes, I do agree. As far as um, I'm doing a video at 4:30 on the Penn State recruits, Jimmy. So if you can wait until 4:30, I'll be doing a video on that. So I have that scheduled at 4:30. I also have a West Virginia video scheduled at 6:30. I also have a West Virginia scheduled at 8:30, and I also have a West Virginia scheduled at 9:30. But you do one segment of a BYU topic, and everybody wants to complain. It's wild to me. So I'm going to continue to do what I want to do. If I'm just going to let y'all know that now. I mean, I'm not going to continue to defend it because I do a lot of videos. I do more than anybody else. I work really hard, and I should be able to do a video about whatever I want as long as I'm putting out the content that you guys expect, right? I don't, I've always been fan friendly. I've always done what you guys want. So if I do something that's for me, that helps my channel grow, if you guys get what I'm saying, these people have really put in work and give me 2,000 extra subscribers. I feel like that you guys should want that for me and not me sit here have to defend it. You know what I'm saying? But it's almost like people want you to fail. Okay, so Keon Headball Hutchins was a name that I honestly laughed when I read because I think, man, like Headball, that's a name, right? It's a name. I'll give you that. Um, let's check him out, right? Because he's scheduled to visit West Virginia. And this is a guy that runs a 4.240. And I know that you think I'm crazy. I thought it was a little crazy too, but listen, he's got USC on the agenda. And by the way, WBsports.com is where I got this report. 6'2", 170-pound receiver out of Northwest Mississippi Community College. And this is the kind of guy that Rich Rod usually gets whenever we're really good. Whenever we're really good, this is the type of player we have. So this is going to be a fun one to watch and keep track of. But let's check out some highlights on this absolute stud. It says he runs 24 miles an hour. Listen, man, he looks really fast. 24 miles an hour is Olympic speed, right? So, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I just have to see it for myself, right? Before I go that far. But is this guy an elite? He's got elite speed. You'll see here on tape. He absolutely destroys guys in the speed department, which is it's no secret. That's why West Virginia is reaching out. This one here, you don't get a great look at his speed. It's kind of a jump ball. But on the very next play, he'll be at the bottom of your screen here. He puts a nice move off the line here. As you can see, he's 6'2", so he's got pretty good frame to him. Watch the move off the line, and then watch the speed on this post up the field. I mean, this guy has got some wheels on him. It's going to be really hard to get this kid, I think, because I love that he's visiting West Virginia, but we have to be realistic too. When you see speed like this, it's just like it's almost, unless we just offer him a bunch, it's almost you feel like the best of the best get guys like this. But I mean, he's coming, and if they're coming, we got a chance. This guy blew my mind when I watched through his highlights. And for those of you listening, just imagine a guy that's got, I'd say he's very similar to Cam Bond in some ways with speed. And he's about Cam Bond's size as well. He actually kind of looks like Cam Bond is like from a tall, lanky 6'2". Cam Bond's 6'2" for those that don't know. I don't know if he'd be faster or not. I mean, Cam Bond's plenty fast enough. If we had somebody that could throw him the ball, that would be great. But yeah, here's another little bubble screen to him, and he is absolutely racing up the field. So, Headball, I like the nickname. I think it works. Oh, that should have been picked. Nice play, though. And I mean, you can see here the speed. Now, he got caught on a shoestring tackle, but these are community junior college athletes. By the way, his quarterback's got a nice arm. I just noticed that. There's been a couple times when I've evaluated these that I felt that way and gone and looked up the quarterback, and they've almost always been committed somewhere. One I looked at last year, I was really impressed with. He went to Buffalo. I wish I could remember his name so I could follow him. I need to write those things down and keep track of them. But yeah, so yeah, no, I get it. He's a good player for sure. Once again, coming off the line, just insane speed and a nice cut inside. Uh, you know, I don't know if I buy the 4.240 here after seeing a few more plays. I didn't have time to watch him and study him, and we're learning a lot about him together here a little bit. But you know, I do think he's really fast, especially once he gets a couple steps. And he's got he can cut, as far as the spot when he's running routes. 4.2, there's a lot of guys that put 4.2 on their page, and I would just need to see that in real time because is it hand time? Is it electronically timed? There's just so many things. So, you know, yeah, this is an interesting one here too. He looks like he's willing to take punishment as well, which is always important. You always want to see that out of your receivers. Um, turn that down a little bit. It hadn't had any sound, and then all of a sudden it's got sound. So this is a guy though. You see he's got USC and a bunch of other offers. I'm of the mindset that for me, anyways, I just think anytime we're up against teams like that, he can't be the number one or number two guy, or we're probably not getting him right. Now, if you're going to USC and you're not their number one option, or want to be like maybe your starter, but you're like their third or fourth guy, maybe then. But like if we're head up against them guys, I mean, if we pay the same amount they do, sure, that works. That's fine. But I think maybe I've gotten too jaded, because let's see who else has offered him. I saw USC right here, which he visited USC, it looks like. Let's see who else has offered him. I'm not seeing a whole lot of other offers. It looks like maybe West Virginia and USC could be the only guys in on him right now. But I mean, it's not always the case. Sometimes they're just not posted. Let's see if he's been anywhere else. Not seeing anything. Looks like he's got a teammate that went to USC. I know we always get the Tavon Austin picture up, don't we? Liberty. So he's got Liberty. Okay, so it's really okay. So this is probably more along the lines why West Virginia is involved, but still, you would think since USC is involved, it kind of gives you cause to pause, right? So just something to think about. But he's following me now, so I might as well message him, right? Hey, man, doing a video on you now. Good luck. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see if he ends up coming to West Virginia and committing. So it says he'll be here. I thought maybe it didn't say when. I thought that it said when, but it looks like I don't see it on there now. I thought it said later this month, but the dead period's coming up, so it better be fast. All right, let's go to break again. Before we do, though, I appreciate anybody's concern about me or anything that I'm doing. But at the end of the day, I felt compelled to cover that segment because of things I've gone through from people like that are, violent or have malicious intent. Now, nobody's really ever threatened to come to the game and kill me or anything like that. But those kind of things are you just have to fact check through them because you never know when somebody's serious, as we've seen here lately. All right. West Virginia has named a few of these captains in basketball to travel to media days And I want to look a little deeper into that. Does it say anything about these players? We'll see why next. And this episode of Locked On West Virginia going to be brought to you by our friends over at Wayfair. With Wayfair, it's a pretty simple thing with them too, because the holidays are going to be here before you know it, which is exciting, and I give you that. But getting your home ready for guests and celebrations can feel like a lot. Maybe your serveware needs a refresh on the guest room, or the guest room could need new bedding. Wayfair has everything you need to get your home ready for holidays. Free Christmas trees, wreaths, bedding, cookware, and inflatables. It's your one-stop shop for every room in the house. Wayfair makes it easy to personalize your home for the holidays, which can be a huge selection for every style and budget. And with free and easy delivery, even on the big stuff, you can get everything you need without the hassle of huge delivery fees. Instead of dressing and stressing, getting out of the house ready, you can actually enjoy the holiday with friends and family with Wayfair. Get organized, refreshed, and ready for the holidays. Head to wayfair.com right now to stop and shop all things home. That's WAYFAIR.com, Wayfair. Every style, every home. And last but not least, we're talking about our friends at Supply House. With Supply House, it's another thing, right? When the opening whistle blows on a new repair, you get your crew moving forward with Supply House. Order today and see parts on your doorstep tomorrow. Over 280,000 plumbing, HVAC, and electrical items from the most trusted of brands in the business. Their real-time inventory and honest lead times keep you from punting projects, while their industry-leading customer service always has your blind side covered. Need parts for a project? Supply House has next-day delivery. Talk about a game changer. Join the free Trade Master program today and score serious perks like priority shipping, lower prices, and a dedicated support line. Visit supplyhouse.com today to sign up for free and use promo code SHCOLLEGE5 for 5% off. That's supplyhouse.com. Real people, real service. All right, we are back. Locked On West Virginia in segment 3, talking some basketball here in a minute. Okay, let me get this pulled up for you guys. So, all right. So an article was put out. Let me get it shared over here. From, I believe it was Mike Osti. Yeah, here it is. Which Mountaineers are representing West Virginia at the Big 12 Media Days event? And it looks like there was an X post about it, but I couldn't find it scrolling when we were talking there earlier. Here it is right here. Okay, so we'll come back over to that page. Let's get back over there. Boom, 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 boom. All right, so our crew for KC, Ross Hodge, Jasper Floyd, Honor Huff, and Brendan Lorient. So I found that a little bit interesting. These are definitely going to be leaders on the team for sure, right? And it would make sense that Lorient and Jasper are a part of that because they were with him at North Texas. Lorient's a senior, Floyd's a senior, Honor Huff's a senior, and that's probably the most likely reason why. But I just wanted to, to talk about it because we saw some video the other day of West Virginia basketball, right? And it was Amir Jenkins that was the starter. I don't know how I got here again, but all right. Let's go back to it. I don't know what I did. Okay. So, we saw Amir Jenkins was starting in some of these highlights the other day. And I've said a couple times, that does not mean that they were, that they are for sure what's happening behind the scenes. I just wanted to say, if it is Amir Jenkins on as a starter, because he just brings a little bit something extra. It would be interesting that Jasper was selected to go to Big 12 Media Days. It'd just be interesting to have one of your leaders coming off the bench. Now, last year, Lorient did it. We know we've said it a few times now, and was a first team all league. So there's a lot to dig into with that. So, in other words, Ross Hodge's biggest leaders are sometimes coming off the bench, just kind of how he operates. And I like that. I like that because you have a tone setter, a Nate Adrian. Remember when Nate Adrian would come off the bench as our sixth man? That was one of the best six men in our history for a reason. So it should be fun to see how this develops out because I think all three of these players are going to be crucial to the Mountaineers this season, especially a guy like Brennan Lorian, who I think nobody's talking about in the league as far as from the league is concerned. And this dude can absolutely just throw it down, man. An elite athlete, and I mean elite. I mean, he can really leap. So I don't know why every time I click on this, it just doesn't want to work. I don't know why. Sometimes I know there's been a couple times where I came out of it, went back in, and it's worked one time, and then it stops working again. Nope. We got this one that works, which is Lorient, but he's not really leaping like on the other one. This one here is a windmill dunk. It just never wants to work. I'm not sure why. And neither does this one now. So I don't know. I can't explain why those don't work. But I'm with you guys. I'm so excited for basketball. I think it's going to be just such a fun season. And really looking forward to seeing how far this team can go. Yeah, I really hope that Coach Hodge is the guy. Could you guys imagine if he wasn't the guy? It wouldn't be, 5 coaches necessarily in 5 years because I think he'll stay beyond a year, obviously. But man, it could be like 5 in 8 years if he doesn't work out. So let's see if there's any audio to this. Oh, I can't play it. There's music on it. So, but yeah, this team is definitely going to see a huge improvement after the Maryland thing. I'm really hoping to see us beat them in the secret scrimmage because Ross Hodge already said, hey, we're going to talk about it. We just can't let you see the game. So you're talking about a team that could really, really be better than we think, or it could be worse. That's also possible. But we shall see. We shall see, man. I appreciate you guys for joining in on this one. I'm going to bounce out. Got another video coming up here in about an hour with Troy. And we're going to be talking about these Penn State recruits that West Virginia's offered. Several of them. I think that's a big storyline to watch because a lot of those guys are big-time targets, 4 and some of them 5-star. Is Rich Rod, when he talks about getting high school recruits, willing to swing for the big fish now? Because I'd be okay with that. If you're going to build through high school specifically, especially, maybe West Virginia can get a higher brand recruit than they used to be able to get. That would be exciting, too, to follow. But it's all going to be happening in the future. We'll all know about it after it happens, obviously. But hopefully it happens sooner than later because I'm very impatient. All right, guys. Thanks for everyone joining in, and I will be back here in about an hour to talk about some more football. Until then, have a great rest of your day and cue those country roads.